Tips. Welcome to Latok Solutions Tutorials. This tutorial will indicate some tips to work easily and without any incidents with the eCTD structure. Latok Solutions. Tips. The eCTD allows us to generate the life cycle of the drug. So that the functionality of the eCTD is correct, it is important that we establish adequate work routines. Do not use special characters in the nomenclature, shortcuts, variable part of the short nomenclature. We do not manipulate dossier folders, assigning folder attributes, structure of folders, and files of the dossier in eCTD. The root folder of the dossier should only contain the folders that the program generates automatically. We must avoid entering the validator reports, the working document folders, the regulatory entities indications, or any other elements that have not been generated automatically when using the program into the root folder of the dossier. Structure of folders and files of the dossier in eCTD. In this example, root folder medication contains the structure corresponding to a dossier with 7 sequences. Each of the sequences and the eCTD_gen folder, which contains information about the program, are displayed. Folder sequence NNNN sequence 0000 only contains information in module 1. At the same level, we find the folder util and the files index and index-md5 own eCTD format. Module folder. Module 1 contains the folder EU, which is the one that contains the files that we incorporate. Folder EU of all the folders in the initial structure, Latok has eliminated those that do not contain documents. At the same level is the EU regional. Root folder naming. The correct development of NES and eCTD formats means that the minimum paths of files and folders are already very long. The dossier's root folder, medicamento, must be placed on a root as short as possible. An example of a recommended root is Z:"med/medicamento X, Z:"med/medicamento Y, Z:"med/medicamento Z. Drug names should not include 4 digits, such as drug Z0004. Special characters such as hyphens or accents should be avoided. Naming files. The assignment of the variable part of the files affects the length of the roots and the life cycle of the medicinal product. A file only replaces another one of previous sequences if it is placed in the same position within the CTD structure and also called exactly the same thing. The variable part of the nomenclature of the files should either be omitted or be as significant and brief as possible. The variable part is advisable to omit except in the occasions in which it gives us an extra piece of necessary information. Roots are shortened as much as possible, and this avoids confusion when a document is to be replaced. The life cycle. It is important to take into account the attributes that are assigned to the files and folders. It is recommended to generate the initial sequence 0000 with as much detail as possible and generate the following sequences by selecting the initial sequence and using Copy Structure button. If we create the structure of the initial sequence by generating all the branches of the attributes that the drug has at that moment and continue to copy the structure of that sequence, we'll find it easier to have the correct life cycle of the drug. When a request is rejected, it is important to remove it from the life cycle. A deletion sequence must be generated and sent to the regulatory authorities to correct the life cycle. Important. Remember to make regular security of your dossiers and keep them in a safe place.